think I'll cross and take my mans out, just kill yourself. In the trenches, 40 on my hip, I had to fix my
What's good, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of different. We back with another video, you know what I'm saying? Today, y'all, bruh. We got some of y'all requested in the comments the downfall of Barcelona, how it, the downfall of Barcelona, how it happened, bruh.
It's basically when I left. That's basically what happened.
Bro, what?
Sorry, spoiled the video. My bad. It's basically when I left.
No, you're not. They're not united.
To Miami. Because I just needed more count. They gave me incentives. They said 50,000 every goal, 100,000 every goal.
Let's get to the video. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe if it's share the video and all that. Frank, I'm not hearing the nonsense.
I'm just saying, bro.
Free. Ain't a bug up.
Don't believe me. If you don't believe me, don't believe me.
I don't believe you.
For over a decade, Barcelona used to strike fear into the hearts of teams across Europe. Being one of the most dominant clubs in the world, nobody was safe from their overwhelming attack and unpressable midfield, having even the most loyal opposing fans doubting their team's chances at victory. But recently, they've gotten so embarrassingly bad that they've stopped demanding respect from other teams and fans, up to the point of even being at the end of jokes.
Bro, he want to get teams. Bro, like he on the verge of quitting or something, bro.
Bro, traumatized.
Bro, like he having flashbacks and shit.
If even being
come on, is that a V-neck? Oh my freak! I'm finna bug up. A V-neck compression shirt.
I've never seen that shit before. Never.
At the end of jokes. Hey guys, it's Raymar, and today we're gonna look at exactly what the hell happened to FC Barcelona. Part 1, the squad. Around a decade ago, Barcelona was known for being almost unbeatable, having some of the most recognizable squads of all time. In 2006, during the Ricard era, they had the iconic lineup of a prime Ronaldinho, a 25-year-old Samuel Eto'o in his first year as a superstar, a young Xavi and Iniesta, and players like Deco, Henrik Larsson, and an incredible defense of players like Puyol and Giovanni Van Bronckhorst. And of course, you had the 18-year-old Lionel Messi. In 2009, during the Pep Guardiola era...
Messi, this year I got injured, so they had to start Messi.
Huh?
This year I got injured, so they had to start Messi.
Oh my fucking god.
They had a prime Samuel Eto'o, a Ballon d'Or Lionel Messi, a Thierry Henry who scored 26 goals that year, a prime Yaya Toure, and a core of Spanish starters that had just won the 2008 Euros. In 2011, still in the Pep Guardiola era, which was my personal favorite FC Barcelona squad, they had eventual Ballon d'Or three-peat winner Lionel Messi, 2 Ballon d'Or finalists in their primes in Xavi and Iniesta, an absolute goal-scoring machine in David Villa, a prime Dani Alves and Javier Mascherano, and had well over half their players in
Wait, I'm just noticing he's still naming players.
Bro, yes, nigga, and why are they so stacked?
On me.
Already.
Be in the same starting lineup that had just won the World Cup a year before. And in 2015, we had the popular MSN lineup of Messi, Suarez, and Neymar, which at the time was the best offense in the world, along with fresh young midfielders like Ivan Rakitic, and the same core of Spanish players that dominated international football for over half a decade and still had unmatched passing and ball movement. And in between those years, Barcelona was still an amazing team, dominating Europe and their domestic leagues, as well as commanding fear throughout any club they challenged. Overall, they had the best offensive lineup in the world in each of those years, and not many teams came close. During those times, not only did they have a stacked offense, but their midfield was also the most commanding for nearly a decade. Barcelona would overwhelm their opponents with their passing and overall possession, barely giving their opponents any time to set up for their own attack as well. An example of this can be easily seen in the 2011 Champions League final against Man United, where they had an overwhelming 63% possession compared to United's 37, and an insane 19 shots versus 4.
That's crazy, bruh. Ball possession, bruh. So that's so many times I had the ball, bruh.
Oh my god.
37%, 63%. That's a lot. That's
almost 5 times more, giving you an idea of just how much in command the squad had of their games at the time. Along with that, their defense has always been solid. Although it wasn't the best, it didn't need to be, as they wouldn't have to worry about playing a defensive game when their midfield and offense did most of the work. Not to mention, their squad had amazing chemistry, as the majority of them, for the most part, were all Spanish players who had amazing chemistry, as a majority of them, for the most part, were all Spanish players who absolutely dominated world football from 2008 to 2012, statistically being the most impressive international dynasty in football history, meaning that Barcelona's midfielders ever were with the club the entire run and longer, and Messi has never gotten close to winning a Champions League without either one of them. So for all of you saying that Messi is the only player they need, that's definitely not true. You can't just keep on relying on Messi to save the team, no matter how good he is.
This ball movement is so fast.
Like, literally, bro.
You can't just keep on relying on Messi to save the team, no matter how good he is. Football is a team sport and is widely determined by how good the team plays. Chemistry is also one of those immeasurable factors that helped Barcelona do so well back then, as their offense, midfield, and defense consisted mainly of longtime players who knew how to play with each other and knew what each other's playstyles were like. It's the difference from seeing someone make a run and giving them a good pass, or passing a ball to an open space and knowing that someone will be there to get it. Having the confidence that your teammate knows what move you're going to make and vice versa. And because Barcelona's core had always remained relatively the same throughout the years, Part 2, the downfall. But before we continue, 79% of you are watching right now but still aren't subscribed. So
and for us, it's like 90. So like, what y'all doing? What y'all doing?
Get subscribing to this back.
Anyways, in the 2015-2016 season, during the Luis Enrique era, Barcelona remained relatively successful, winning the league, the Copa del Rey, the UEFA Super Cup, and the FIFA Club World Cup. Their MSN trio was still dominant, scoring goal after goal, but with the departure of Xavi, their midfield had changed significantly, as they wouldn't win the Super Cup or get past the Champions League quarterfinal. They'd continue to see this slight downward in success as the following 2016-2017 season, also remembered as MSN's final season, they had only won the Copa del Rey and the Spanish Super Cup, as Real Madrid had eclipsed them as the league champions. Slowly, Barcelona's midfield was changing, with new players who certainly couldn't fill the gap left by Xavi or have chemistry as good with the other players as well. In 2018, the club would finally start to see all these problems adding up. Although they'd win the league title and the Copa del Rey, they would infamously bottle the Champions League quarterfinal by being up 4-1 against AS Roma, only to blow it with a 3-0 defeat on the second leg and losing on aggregate goals. This has been the subject of jokes and memes for many Barcelona haters, and it wouldn't be the last. An aging up around Iniesta and Xavi. The 2018-2019 Barcelona squad was drastically different, and for a casual football fan, most likely unrecognizable, as new names would be in the team with little to no chemistry at all. Many fans were already blaming Valverde, and Barcelona's morale had taken a big hit. Though they would win the La Liga and Copa del Rey, once again in an iconic moment in the Champions League, Barcelona would face Liverpool in the semi-finals, commanding a 3-0 lead in the first leg. But by the second leg, all I need to say is, corner taken quickly, and I know you all know the rest. Barcelona bottles their lead once again by losing 4-0 on the second leg.
But get right! Get right, there's no way. That was like back-to-back, I think, games they had
before in Roma. It was a traumatic experience. As professionals, the feeling of losing like they did against Roma will always be in the back of their heads. And that past trauma was probably the reason that led to the team just giving up and completely breaking down on the pitch. The players argue and blame one another, only furthering their chemistry and relationship on the pitch. Fans blame the coach, and haters continue to laugh at the back-to-back years of blowing a lead. Naturally, as most clubs do, their solution is sack the manager and just get a new one, bringing in Setien as the head of the club. In the 2019-2020 season, Barcelona would finally get exposed as all their small problems would begin to surface. Possibly the worst season the club would ever have in recent years, they wouldn't win a single competition, both domestically or internationally. When La Liga resumed once again, Barcelona was close to winning the league title, but would eventually blow it and end up losing the lead to Real Madrid. The tension in the club was high between players, management, and staff. Messi was even seen completely ignoring his coach, showing the distance between the players and the staff. Mix that in with the expectations and trauma of bottling 2 significant leads in the Champions League consecutively, you have a perfect recipe for disaster. And as we all know, Barcelona were absolutely destroyed 8-2 by Bayern Munich in the Champions League, being named as the worst defeat in the club.
8-2, my nigga?
That's what you were doing, eat football.
For real, bruh.
Make sure you watch that video, because we really did that.
Oh, God, though. That video should be out by now, man. But what the freak? That's kind of crazy. That's really crazy.
History, topping the 4-0 loss against Liverpool the year before. What's worse is that they even loaned out Felipe Coutinho, who they had spent hundreds of millions of euros on just to acquire, to Bayern Munich, just for him to add 2 more goals to that already embarrassing defeat. The club is in absolute disarray and has now become a joke in the football community. So what's the cause of this and who's to blame? Part 3, Recipe for Disaster. For nearly a decade, Barcelona has maintained the same core of players that, over many years together, had built a winning culture through their chemistry and overall individual brilliance. For Barcelona, it was always Iniesta, Xavi, and Puyol, unmatched at what they do together, with complementary players coming in like Busquets, Piqué, Pedro,
Alright, I'll be back.
and Jordi Alba,
You a side
who
eye.
with Spain already dominated in every international stage. Add in players like Eric Abidal, Javier Mascherano, and Dani Alves, who would fit in their role with the club for many, many years. Most of these players mentioned, including Messi himself, also originated in Barcelona's youth development program, La Masia, who have failed to produce any good talent to bring to the senior squad in recent years. La Masia had previously featured the best players of the previous generation, but have failed to really produce anyone even close to being on the same caliber. And when you consider the fact that those core Barcelona players began at a young age, you could see that it wasn't going to be good for the club's future. Barcelona had also been lacking of a true leader in the past years. Messi is an amazing player, and even as a Ronaldo fan, I'd have to say that he's the most talented player ever. However, the one thing that Messi lacks, and I'm sure Barcelona fans could agree on this, is leadership and an unwavering attitude. When your team blows leads like they did against Roma and Liverpool, it would take tremendous leadership to tell your team to shake it off and continue playing. Leadership to inspire your team to stop paying attention to the scoreboard and continue trying their best. Messi can be seen easily agitated and sometimes disregard his teammates or doesn't put enough effort to keep the morale high. And I don't blame him at all. He's never really been a vocal person. In the past,
why do you
Barcelona
keep that
had
so
leaders
fast?
blame him at all. He's never really been a vocal person. In the past, Barcelona had leaders like Carles Puyol, who also captained his national team and knows how to keep his teammates mentally strong, which is the most important thing when suffering defeats like Barcelona has. You would also never see a player like Carles Puyol arguing with his manager over simple discontent. The trauma and pressure of avoiding to blow another...
Why are you trying to bash Messi, bro? Stop bashing Messi, bro. Oh, I bugged up.
should be diminished by a proper leader of the squad, something Iniesta and Xavi have also had experience doing. This could help build a winning culture with newer players that are maybe unfamiliar or have less chemistry with senior teammates. But leadership also extends into the staff and management, which recently has been absolutely atrocious for Barcelona. Valverde and Setien have been terrible in not only managing their teams, but failing to demand any sort of winning culture or respect at all. Players, by many accounts, didn't even like them very much. Setien barely even wanted to use Antoine Griezmann, despite the talent that we all know he has, even though he might not be in the best form. As opposed to Ricard or someone like Pep Guardiola, who demanded the absolute best from their players and instilled a winning mentality with them. Barcelona's management has been even worse, spending nearly €1 billion in transfer fees since 2015 and failing to acquire or keep young talent that could be groomed and eventually gain enough significant experience to be able to continue as one of the key players for the club's future. They also made questionable transfers like loaning Coutinho to the very same team that would hand them their worst defeat in club history in the very same season. Also making moves like acquiring a 30-year-old Miralem Pjanic for a 23-year-old Arthur Melo only increases the average age of a club whose starting lineup is mostly composed of players above the age of 30. Messi himself is 33 and he can't keep winning games all by himself, especially not as he gets older. Part 4, the solution. Gerard Piqué has stated that Barcelona have hit rock bottom and needs radical change. First and foremost, with a manager. Barcelona needs to find someone who knows how to win, is highly respected by the players, is mentally tough, and knows how to inspire his team towards the right direction. And I personally believe that Xavi is the perfect man to help reform Barcelona. Unfortunately, how I see it,
Bro, I don't
Barcelona...
cap, they need me, honestly, bro. That's what I'm thinking about.
Just watch the video, dog.
Because I'm thinking they like, so basically this whole video they was saying that they need a better coach and then like more like coaches like to like get the best out of the players, bro. And I feel like I'm the perfect fit for it. Barcelona, if you watch
It's
this video,
because I left.
Barcelona, if you watch
That's
this
when
video,
the downfall
come
happened.
hire me. Come hire me, Barcelona. If you need a manager.
If you need me back, let me know.
has two options. Do a complete overhaul of their lineup, getting rid of everyone unnecessary and building around Messi as much as possible to try and get the most out of his last years as a footballer, or prepare for the long-term future and rebuild the club from the ground up, even if it means having to let go of Messi. As Piqué says, if new blood has to come to change this dynamic, I will be the first one to pack up and leave. And this won't just take 1 or 2 years. It'll take a lot of time the club will have to make, but it's a cycle that every sports team has to go through eventually. This just shows you that an end of an era is near, but it was an absolute pleasure to watch it go by. Now begs the question, will Messi stay or will he leave? And better yet, should he stay or should he leave? Well, that's a question for another video. But that's all from me today, guys.
And he left.
Yeah, he left. And then he left the other team.
Yep.
And then left the other team.
He went 90 in Miami now. Yeah, because this is 2020. Yep. A lot of things happen over past. That's just COVID of the freak. Let's shoot, y'all. That's the end of the video, you know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, listen, comment on the video, so you have to put the and all that, bro. Share the video, you know what I'm saying? Y'all let us know in the comments how y'all think, you know what I'm saying, what Barcelona needs or not, bro.
Me!
I already said it in the end of the video when I was saying they need me. So stop talking like I copied what I said.
I'm saying they need me because when I left, they...
Merch on the way, bro. We out, bro.
Belly trucks with semi-suck, La Harlem turn the city up. Be wild and don't get any fucks. We block stars, they